Hey everybody, how are you? Right. Oh, I left all my notes back there. Clip on the table right over there. Oops. Sorry. I'm so excited to come out. It's so nice to see everybody. This is the Folk Collective. And I will introduce everybody as we go. But this is the Opening Doors project. This is Opening Doors, and this is our, Stacy, sixth live performance over the last year and a half. This program, it started as an online music and conversation project during COVID, and those interviews are all available online, but we started it with seed money from this church. This is the Melrose Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm a member here. Welcome to the church. And they are one of our sponsors tonight too. Okay, so things I'm supposed to tell you. There are exits here and there, and there are bathrooms back here. If you go through the back door there, you will find your way to the bathrooms, and there are lovely people back there who can help direct you. A couple of thank yous before we get started. We actually have a lot of people to thank. So first of all, the Melrose Human Rights Commission. I agree, yeah. And the Mass Cultural Council, the Melrose Cultural Council, Melrose Messina Fund, Melrose Coop Foundation, Filmmakers Cooperative, and this church, and then Club Passim, which is where we all met. Club Passim in Cambridge. And our fearless leader, Shay Rose, who's not here tonight. Shay Rose is the one who brought us all together.
Captain, my captain.
Captain, my captain. Walking around, you'll see Joachim Gaston. He's taking pictures tonight. Brian Johnson has done all this amazing artwork and the website work for us. Thank you, Brian. And finally, my partner in Opening Doors is Stacy Babb. She's in the back there. Stacy Babb. All right, we're going to start with a song. Thanks, everybody. All right, our first performer tonight is Almira, and they are also going to tell us a little bit about the Folk Collective. Here they come. Give a hand to Almira, everybody.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for coming tonight for such a beautiful cause and reason. Yeah, I'm Almira Ara. I'm one of the 12 members of the Folk Collective at Club Pasadena. Hold on. I should probably put the guitar on me before I start talking. But basically, what we are about as the Folk Collective is mainly redefining what folk music is perceived as. Folk music isn't just this, it's not just this monolithic thing. It isn't just like, for lack of better descriptors, a white man with a guitar and harmonica. It's not just Bob. It's not just Bob, guys. It's so much more of that. Around here in the Folk Collective, we like to say that folk music is the music of the people. It's the music of folks. It is music that is telling stories of humans, of events, and of history. It's kind of pointing a mirror at the face of society to show us where we need to be better. Yeah, so that's what we're about. And thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful to be starting us off. This is a song that I wrote called Little Black Girl or Radiating Light. This is giving rock now. It's giving rock. Could you give me an A? It's okay. Sorry, y'all. Oh, thank you, Alistair. Thank you, Alistair. Listen.
This is consensual.
It is. It is. Yes, thank you.
You got it, Bill?
Little black girl in this cold ass world, do you know what you're doing? You shorten your words, try to lessen your worth. Do you know that you let them win when you let them have a say on who you're gonna be? Don't let them have their way, 'cause once when you were me, I didn't they tried to make my rainbow gray. I was a little black girl in a beautiful world. They were hell bent on ruining. Their actions Dreams and words were daggers to my soul, and perception of the truth they sought to change. Wanting to make my rainbow gray. Although you may be on the ground right now, remember when you're down. When you hold your head high, I swear the world gets brighter. Shine like the sun. My love, you are. You're so full of purpose. You're beautifully deserving of all the love and care and space you occupy. Little black girl, you're radiating light. Little black girl, so alone in this world. Do you know what you're doing? Looking for love in people you don't trust, deprived of community as they try to make your rainbow gray. And as you're wondering who you are right now, I'll hold you and remind you proudly. When you hold your head higher, I swear the world gets brighter. Shine like the sun, 'cause my love, you are. There are people who'll embrace you. You'll learn to do the same. This love's a gift that only villages can find. Little black girl, there's love when we unite. Don't listen to the dullness. Let your light shine through. Too colorful to cater to a gray world's views. Resistance so incomparable, despite how you've been bruised. True power lies within the light you'll never lose. When you hold your head higher, I swear the world gets brighter. Shine like the sun. My love, you are. You're so full of purpose. You're beautifully deserving of all the clarity and joy you've searched to find. Oh, little black girl, you are one of a kind. Little black girl, there's love when we unite. Little black girl, you're radiating. Little black girl, you're radiating light. Thank you all so much.
Almira. So we're gonna play through some songs for you, some songs that folks here have written, some cover songs, and then we're gonna have some conversation, maybe along the way. I'll be honest, this is our sixth one. I've never done it with even 2 people to talk to, let alone 8. So we're figuring this out on the fly. But that's kind of what this group does. And I think we're going to enjoy ourselves along the way. Next up here is Kim Moberg.
Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Alistair for putting this together and having us all here. We're going to sing a song for you that I wrote thinking about the people who came before me who had the courage and the conviction to stand up for what is right and to resist what is not. The name of the song is Resist, and I'm going to need your help on the chorus because there's not enough of us here. I'm going to need you all to sing too, okay? It's really easy. I'll teach you the words. I'm not willing to close my eyes, and I'm not willing to accept the lies. I'm not willing to compromise, and by that I mean compromise on the truth. To this, we'll all sing Resist. Empty pockets and hopeful dreams, they set sail on the stormy sea, facing danger and poverty, to see that light of liberty. Stolen lands and broken treaties, they left their lives at wounded knee. Their sons and daughters, as many years, still fight the white man to keep our waters clean. So I'm not willing to close my eyes, join us, and I'm not willing to accept the lies. I'm not willing to compromise. To this, I say resist. They built a railroad so slaves could flee, with a proclamation, you are free. Then they marched in Selma for the dream, spilling blood for equality. Out of the closet, finally, let them pay the price for living honestly, beaten and tortured so brutally for the crime of loving differently. To close my eyes, and I'm not willing to accept the lies. I'm not willing to compromise. This, I say resist. steadily. Our earth is dying far too rapidly. So here we gather for the change we need. There's no denying, 'cause there is no planet B. And they'll try to stop us just to feed their greed, building walls that come between. But we'll work together to realize the dream and to build this nation on true democracy. So I'll ask you to stand up for freedom. I beg you, sing out for peace. Let's speak out for justice to show my children we are better than this. One last chorus, will you join us? So I'm not willing to close my eyes. I'm not willing. I'm not willing. Resist. Resist.
Kim Moberg, everyone. Oh, Max. You're up, buddy.
I'm up.
Maxfield Anderson is our furthest flung member from Tulsa, Oklahoma. What you got?
So I'm gonna do a song called "The Cannonball." This song is pretty commonly known as a Carter family song, but I want to talk a little bit about where your folk music comes from tonight. You know, we know where everything comes from nowadays, and I think a big thing that we're doing in the Folk Collective is reminding folks where their folk music comes from and honoring the folks that helped create the music that we know and love today. So I'm sure that many of you know who the Carter family is. If you don't, they're one of the first, they're considered the first family of country music. They recorded a lot of songs throughout the 20s and 30s into the 40s, and the music that they recorded kind of became the body of American music, of country music, of bluegrass music. It's songs that we still know and love today. Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Keep on the Sunny Side, Wildwood Flower. Their contributions are you know, just absolutely endless. And Alistair has an amazing song, Mostly Lost. And that song inspired me to talk about somebody who often gets written out of history, out of the Carter family history, and that is Leslie Riddle. Leslie was a black musician from New York. He played mandolin, he played guitar, he played country blues, he played old-time music, he played square dances, all of that stuff. Leslie Riddle and A.P. Carter became good friends, and over the years, the two of them went on a ton of song collecting trips. So these two men would travel throughout Virginia and the Appalachian region in that area, and they would collect songs from different communities. And again, like I said, those songs became the body of country music and songs that are completely ingrained in American music today. So we have the Carter family, the famous first family of country music. Behind the Carter family, we have Leslie Riddle. Not only was Leslie super important just in the collection of these songs, he was known as like the human tape recorder because he could hear anything once and then he would remember it. He'd be able to, just like log it back there, and then they would get home and they'd be able to remember these songs. He was also an amazing guitar player. He brought fingerpicking to the Carter family. Let me say that again. He brought fingerpicking to the Carter family. Up until, up throughout some of the Carter family's first recordings, you're hearing a lot of Mother Maybelle doing her famous Maybelle Carter scratch style. And then the Cannonball is actually one of the first recordings where we hear Mother Maybelle start to fingerpick. So y'all, if you want to hear a white lady fingerpicking from the 30s, Carter family's Cannonball is where it's at. Again, we've got Leslie behind this the whole time, influencing the Carter family from the songs that they found to the styles of music that they played. So Leslie, whether you know it or not, has been influencing this music all along. He's one of my favorite musicians to talk about and bring light to. Leslie, unfortunately, did not get to record in that time. If you were a black musician and you did not play Southern country blues, they were not recording you at that time. Leslie was fortunately recorded about 30 years later. Actually, in the 70s, Mike Seeger found him and recorded him. So we have this small collection of Leslie's work, but with it, we can kind of do some forensics and see how much he really influenced the Carter family. So I'm going to play a song that he brought to the Carters called The Cannonball. Standing here from Buffalo to Washington. Now I went down to the station and I looked up on the board. Now tell me, Mr. Conductor, how long the train's been gone from Buffalo to Washington? You can wash my old jumper, starch my overalls. Well, I'm gonna catch the train, babe, all that cannonball from Buffalo to Washington. Coming down the line, well, it's trying to make up all of its lost time. I ought to know just how it feels. Coming down the tracks, it's gonna carry me away, but it ain't gonna bring me back from Buffalo to Washington. Where we going? From Buffalo to Washington. From Buffalo, y'all know where I'm going. Thank you, folks.
Maxfield Anderson with a little help from me, just a little. We changed keys on that. All right. Gabby,
Gabby Simpkins, everyone.
Hello. Super nice to see you all tonight. My name is Gabriella Simpkins, and I'm joined by the lovely Elmira Ara on the bass. Multi-talented. So, I normally write love songs, but occasionally I do dip into some political discussion, and this song is called Independence Day, and it discusses how we're not totally free. Even though we celebrate this day on July 4th, there's still a lot of freedom to be fought for. Close enough to touch, so far away from here. 5 months to the day that you would disappear. Chart the flight of the albatross or the buzzards overhead. Trading in the starkness for an endless dream. Chase it down the rabbit hole of what could be. All this time comes between us now, but the weight's on an upward trend. And I thought I was on the mend. Acting in good faith, I'm waiting out the storm. Who'd I be to leave you in your weakest form? Promised honesty when we made the deal, but your ends never quite held up. Close enough to hear you from across the room, but every new exchange would leave me more confused. Your yelling's taking on a deeper growl, and it's gnawing at my ears and confirming every close enough to crying for the end of days, selfishly detaching from a sense of blame. to be acquired as the headlines read despair. Fireworks and sparklers and big parades don't do much to cover up the cruel charade. And all this time may come between us now, but I can't forget this face on a bright Independence Day. Thank you.
Gabby Simpkins. Maybe split the difference. Almir, stay up for a second, because so what I'd like to do, I'm going to put on my host hat, which is normally my hat during these shows. And I want to talk a little bit about these songs that we've heard so far and about the folk collective at Passim. So a little more context. Club Passim, if you don't know, in Cambridge is a historic folk club. It was a place where Joan Baez got her start. Bob Dylan spent a lot of time there. Folk music is deeply rooted in a diverse culture of American history, right? And there's a huge piece of it that's steeped in Black culture. Over the years, in a space like Club Passim, a lot of that sort of disappeared, right? And the club in the folk revival years became more and more white to the point where entry felt uncomfortable. And Club Passim, like so many institutions, has been thinking about this for a long time and spinning its wheels. And I think it's relevant as we think about Martin Luther King Day here in the town of Melrose, because there's a lot of institutions here that are trying to do similar work, that are trying to work on diversity. I was overwhelmed a couple of years ago when Club Passim hired a woman named Shay Rose and asked her to come in as a DEI consultant, right? And Shay's kind of first order of business was to say, I can't do this by myself in this space. As one Black woman coming in, we can't do it like this. So her idea was, we're gonna open this up by, I'm gonna put together a collective of people to help me think this through. And the collective itself is a way of beginning the process of opening things up. There is diversity at Club Passim, but it doesn't look like this, right? Historically, it doesn't look like this. So I guess my first question to you all, Kim, you've been at the club as long as I have. We're the old farts in this group. Yeah. Is that one on? No. Can you turn on the wireless mic, Bill? Kim's testing it for you. There's a switch on it. So Kim and I and Peter Mulvey are the three folks in the folk collective who've been around the club for a long time. What's your perspective on the history and the current?
Oh, I think it was a very bold move and a well-needed move by Club Passim to make that step, because folk music, as we all know it, is music of the people, meaning everybody, every color, every economic status. And the club did steer away from that for a long while. And it is true that people that look like me, that are my color, were severely underrepresented there. But the step that they've taken over the last year, it's been a year, right? A little over a year, to try and fix that and to make it a more welcoming and expansive and diverse space that welcomes all music, because folk music covers not just a guy and a guitar, but it's folk music is jazz, folk music is native music, folk music is rap, folk music is so many different kinds of music that wasn't being played on that stage.
Gabby and Max, you both work at the club part-time. You do some instructional stuff, and some of that predated the folk collective. So what was your perspective when you first kind of came into the club, kind of looking around, has the needle moved at all? What's it felt like for you, Gabby?
I felt the needle. Oh, is this on? Okay. I can't really hear in here.
We keep all the mics up, Bill.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, all right. I've seen changes already, even in the last year. Seeing the open mics, one of which Almira hosted, seeing all kinds of music from all over the world, feeling more connected. I teach at PASIM every once in a while, and so feeling more connected with my students, being more diverse in my teaching in terms of like the kind of music I teach. Yeah, just feeling more connected in general.
How about you, Max? What have you seen?
Yeah, I think that the needle is definitely starting to move. I'm pretty involved with the club. I do sound a few nights a month, and I also teach in the School of Music. One place that I've especially noticed it is the School of Music, with starting to have new folks coming in to teach classes, offering classes like songwriting for social activism, and also starting to develop artists more instead of just saying, all right, here's a stage, go do it. They're offering things like how to do sound as a performer, things to really develop artists and help kind of take them into the next stage.
Almira, your song, Little Black Girl, when you wrote that, maybe we've had this conversation, so maybe I'm projecting, but is that a song that you wish you had had in your life when you were younger?
Oh my God, yes. I actually, I wrote the song kind of, at first, it was, listen. At first, I wrote the song because I was like it was a prompt that was given to us in Berkeley. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. And
This is a church, you can say
sorry.
God.
Sorry.
Even though it's a UU church, you can say God.
But I originally wrote it kind of to be like, hey, somebody should have had this, you know? And as I edited and revised it, it became a song kind of for me, not necessarily identifying as a girl, but like going through the experience of like Black girlhood and Black womanhood. It is a song that I was like, I wish that I had this when I was younger. Or I would look at like my sister or cousins. I would look at aunts. I would look at people in my life that I was like, if there was this sort of song, there wouldn't be the amount of like doubt that a lot of people, a lot of Black women face because they are consistently doubted in this society.
Yeah. We're sort of holding PASIM up here as a lens, which is in some ways unfair because but that is sort of the reward, I think, for doing the hard work is we're sort of sharing dirty laundry here, but I think this is the dirty laundry that any organization goes through that's actually trying to move the ball forward. What I've seen at places like PASIM and so many other spaces is a lot of conversation among white liberals that says, we want this place to be diverse, but then the next step is always the hard part, right? And most of the time, what I have felt and what I learned about myself in that process is that there's a lot of like, the door is open, right? Everyone's welcome, but then nobody comes in the door. Why not? That's not enough to open the door, right? You need to do more than open a door. What Shay did with this group, which I think was so beautiful and really speaks to the idea of beloved community, was she created community. She brought an intentional community of people who didn't know each other together to have conversations, to get to know each other. And all of our first conversations, I kind of thought, all right, here we go. We're going to have a DEI conversation about race. But that's not how it started. It was all about what is folk music, right? And also the diversity that she brought in was a lot more wide-ranging than a guy like me would have thought of. I understand racial diversity, right? But she was really intentional about making it age diverse, about making it orientation diverse, gender diverse, of course. But the age one was the one that got me the most, I think, right? The age diversity is so important to this. For a place like Club Passim or any institution to keep moving forward, we need to hear from young people. And it's so often us elders tend to go, we know what's best. We'll talk it out among ourselves. You all sit over there, right? And Shay, who teaches at Berkeley, brought in 2 Berkeley students, and Gabby is a student at Salem State, and they're killing it, needless to say. But that range of ages, I mean, I have my 2 17-year-old kids here, and I get to spend all this time now with people in their early 20s. Early 20s? Okay, yeah. It's kind of cool. All right, that's enough of our talking. So we'll do a little more music, and then we'll do a little more talking, and then we're going to ask you all if you have some questions and thoughts. We'll get to that part at the end, too. Does that sound okay? All right. Everybody, please welcome Cliff Notes.
Which one of these mic stands are the tallest? Hey, everybody. Should I say something or should I just sing? I'll say something. That was it. No, I'm joking. Well, my name's Cliff Notes, and if you Google me right now, you'll probably some of the first things you'll see is hip hop artist Cliff Notes. And I think that was one of the driving forces for me to join the Folk Collective. Because as much as hip hop raised and brought me into this place in so many different ways, I also grew up listening to this radio station called 106.7 featuring this DJ named David Allen Boucher. Has anyone heard of David Allen Boucher? Yes, round of applause, that's the homie. But what David did was he introduced me to so many other ways that I could express myself and see myself. He introduced me to people like Tracy Chapman. He introduced me to so many different ideas of what a black person could be, especially within music. So now I kind of treat music as, or genres as like outfits, different things that I can put on to be able to express myself in different ways. So we're gonna play a song that I wrote like 5 years ago, called Losing Crowns, and it's kind of thinking about that kind of frustration that we deal with as being black and kind of put in these boxes that we deserve to be outside of. And it can be really easy to get down on ourselves, but once we get down on ourselves, we tilt our head down a little bit too much, we have that ability to lose that crown and that royalty that we have. So this is the song. Chocolate-covered mountains today. I'm amazed. I might sip right from the fountain today. It's okay. It's okay. I feel high and mighty. I just made me someone royal. They laughed at me to spite me. It's just like me to be spoiled. I told them, when you look down, down, your your crown, lose your crown. When you look down, 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 you lose your crown, lose your crown. I got lost up in the mountains, they say. I'm ashamed, they're ashamed. I don't think they were counting the pain. I'm to blame, they're to blame. I feel like an ocean, guess that ocean's for the healing. I feel like believing, guess that heaven's for the healers. While the healing, I'll say, when you look down, down, you lose your crown, lose your crown. When you look down, 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 you lose your crown, lose your crown. Thank you.
Cliff Notes.
You got Stephanie, right? Yes. Yeah. Stephanie McKay, everyone, coming up.
It's an honor to share the stage with all these talented songwriters. It's been really inspirational for me to be a part of the Folk Collective and to be here with you tonight to celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday. This song is a song called Oxygen, written by Willie Mason, who is a 21, I think, when he wrote this song. And I think it embodies a lot of the aspirations of the Martin Luther King holiday. So you can breathe when you're drowning and weak in the knees. I wanna speak louder than ignorance for all the children who think that they've got a disease. I wanna be cooler than TV for all the kids that are wondering what they're gonna be. We can be stronger than bombs if you're singing along and you know that you really believe. We can be richer than industry as long as we know that there's things that we don't really need. We can speak louder than ignorance ignorance, 'cause we speak in silence every time our eyes meet. On and on it goes. The world just keeps on spinning until I'm dizzy. Time to breathe. So close my eyes and start again. I wanna see through all the lies of society to the reality. Happiness is at stake. I wanna hold up my head with dignity, proud of a life where to give means more than to take. I wanna live beyond the modern mentality, where paper is all that you're really taught to create. Do you remember the forgotten America? Justice, equality, freedom to every race. Just need to get past all the lies of society. Makeup and hair to the truth behind every face. Then look around at all the people you see. How many of them are happy and free? We can be richer than industry as long as we know that there's things that we don't really need. We can speak louder than ignorance, 'cause we speak in silence every time our eyes speak. On and on it goes. The world just keeps on spinning until I'm dizzy. Time to breathe. So close my eyes and start again. If I'm afraid to catch a dream, I'll weave your baskets and I'll float them on the river stream. Each one I'll weave with words. I speak to carry your love to your relief. If I'm afraid to catch a dream, I'll weave your baskets and I'll float them on the river stream. Each one I'll weave with words. I speak to carry your love to your relief. On and on it goes. The world just keeps on spinning until I'm dizzy. Time to breathe. So close my eyes and start again. On it goes. The world just keeps on spinning till I'm dizzy. Time to breathe. So close my eyes and start again. Undo.
Stephanie McKay. All right. Usually at these shows, I just host, which is a tremendous pleasure, but I couldn't get out of it with this one. So this is a pretty new song. This is a song I wrote in the last couple of months. Thinking about the folks that we don't hear as much about. Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, so few can name her. Her name isn't famous in our history. Mississippi flame leader, voting rights claimer. What she gave to this country is plain as can be. Claudette Colvin's bus story stolen. Precursor worthless. She's pregnant and poor. Teenager single. An unwanted symbol. Sat in that same seat 9 months before. History faded, boiled and brewed, reduced to the few, while the others we lose. It's women, of course, who mostly get lost. They never got asked at the time what they thought. Rosa gets mentioned, but where's the attention to her love for Malcolm, her fist in the air, the radical rebel at Highlander Folk School is lost to the seamstress with the part in her hair. History narrowed to simplified truths, hemmed in and hued. It's the sharpness we lose. Revolution, of course, is mostly what's lost. The brighter colors fade in the wash. Ella Baker, miracle maker, Stokely and Baird, Moses and Braun, Chisholm, Jordan, Boyden, Brown, and on and on and on and on. The links in the chain get lost in the mist. The facts and the names lose out to the myths as the cynics rip meaning apart at the seams and leave us with nothing but I have a dream. History sanitized, sterilized, trimmed. You're nowhere if you don't know where you've been. This country is twisted, stuck at the cross. And it's us, of course, who mostly get lost. Gabby Simpkins, Lydia Harrell. All right, we got one more for you, and then we'll do a little talking.
Hi. My name is Lydia, and I'm honored to be here with the collective. I love doing anytime they say we're going to perform, I'm always like, let me clear my schedule because I really love being around them. Alistair actually asked me originally to do a song that I think would have worked perfectly for this, but because it's Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday tomorrow, I felt like this is even more appropriate. But I wanted to tell you about it, the original song, not my original song, but because I don't think a lot of people would think of it, and we mentioned it a little bit. It's hip-hop. It's hip-hop folk music. And I'm always gonna be one that's like, yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, when you think about any of the older interviews from some of those artists, they talked about, this is about my life. And I feel like that's exactly what folk music is, right? It's about like, this is what I saw in the streets in my life growing up. Now, a lot of that has evolved and changed, but it's still relevant and it still matters and it's important and it's fun. It's fun to hear all these other types of folk music. So I'm really glad that you're here to hear it. Sorry I'm not doing it today, but if you want to know what it is, it's called Mirror by Kendrick Lamar. The song I'm doing today is by Stevie Wonder, and it's called Happy Birthday. Woo. I love Stevie Wonder. All right, give me a moment here. Try to tune this stuff.
From Elm.
There it is, all right.
It's a great shirt.
And I've never played it on my ukulele until practicing for this particular show. So there it is. I'm on the wrong key. Lord have mercy. Okay. All right. This radio. Wait a minute. I knew something was wrong. 1, 2, 3. Ow. You can clap, do whatever you want to do, yeah. Snap, nod your head, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, 6, 7, 8. No, it doesn't make much sense. That'll be a law against anyone who takes offense at a day in your celebration, 'cause we all know in our minds that there ought to be a time that we can set aside to show just how much we love you, and I'm sure you would agree it couldn't fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. I just never understood how a man who died for good could not have a day that would be set aside for his recognition, because it should never be just because someone cannot see the dream as clear as he, that they should make it become an illusion. And we all know everything that he stood for time will bring, for in peace our hearts will sing, thanks to Martin Luther King. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Oh, why has there never been a holiday where peace is celebrated all around the world? There, time is overdue for people like me and you who know what's the truth is love and unity to all God's children. It should be a great event, oh yeah. And the whole day should be spent in full remembrance of those who lived and died for the oneness of our people. So let us all begin. We know that love can win. Sing it out and don't hold Thank you.
Lydia Harrell.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit. And then we'll get you to chime in too. So I want to ask Cliff first to tell us about the crown. Tell us about your crown and what does looking down and losing your crown mean for you?
Okay. So the song was written for my second album. Oh, come in? You guys want me close to you? The song was written for my second album, which was some time ago, 2019, I think. And at that point, I was very, very angry. And also within that, I was also very, very depressed with the state of the world, with my existence being black, not understanding whether or not I would make it to the next day, whether somebody else would take my life or somebody close to me. And that just sent me down this spiral. And when you're in that spiral, it can be really easy to convince yourself that you deserve to be there. And I wrote this song as something to kind of remind myself, almost in the same way that you asked Amira about if this song was something that you wish that you had at an earlier point in your life. And I wanted it to be a reminder that the more that you continue to look down on yourself, the more you're going to lose that royalty that you already possess and that you don't think that you deserve. And not only did I want that for myself, but I've been teaching at Berkeley and other universities for half a decade now, and I see a lot of my students going through the same thing. And I wanted them to not feel that way, especially knowing how much it can affect you when you get older. So I wanted to be able to have something that they could hold on to as well.
Stephanie, that song, so Willie Mason is a white dude from White Plains, but that song spoke to you, and you do it in a very different way than he does. Talk about that song, why it hits you so hard.
Oh, so many reasons. First of all, it speaks to the future, to the youth, and it touched on a lot of the things that I was seeing in my family. First of all, Ritalin given in excessive amounts to kids in schools, not really accepting neurodiverse learners, and also just the hope that we all aspire to, or we want to aspire to as a society. Like, it's attainable, and this kind of prayer, this long prayer of remembering what the best of us could look like, when we are at our best, what it looks like. And I like the song because it's just a really long prayer to me, like hoping of what is possible. And what better way to describe it than air, the oxygen we breathe. You know, it's like, if it could be only that simple, because we can't survive without air. So I really thought he poetically encompassed everything that I believed in.
I love the way you play that song. It's got this pulse, and it just builds. Stephanie is like, in our meetings, she was kind of quiet, and then she did her first performance, like she came and sang to us, and I think all of us, we're like, whoa, Stephanie's got a lot of fire in there. Man, you bring it every time you sing. We love you here, you sing. Rage. Oh, Rage, okay. And Lydia I had on my last performance at Pastors of Plenty at Club Passim, and we've done some stuff together. You talked about, that was so we did Kendrick Lamar together. That was the first time I'd performed Kendrick Lamar in public. It's pretty great. Playing Kendrick Lamar at Club Passim was great. Tell us about Happy Birthday. When do you remember hearing that song as a kid when it came out? It was a big, big deal, that song.
I didn't know how big of a deal it was, though, because I was little, but my mom raised us on Stevie Wonder. Like, that's all we listened to Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, and we danced in the living room together. And that just happened to be one of the songs. I didn't even know it was about Martin Luther King, even though his name was in the song. I'm just like, but when you listen to music the way I do, and I know a lot of musicians do, I don't hear the words first. I hear the music and the groove, and then I'm like, oh, there's words on this. But it means a lot more now because I understand it more now. Yeah, I really love the beginning of it where Stevie says, it doesn't even make sense. Why are is someone opposing this? Like and I'm like baffled. Were people opposing this? I think they were. And I think anytime there was change, there's big time opposition, especially if it's something that makes you maybe feel just uncomfortable or if it's just a foreign concept. But now we got holidays for everything, you know what I mean? We got National Donut Day and everything. So I'm just like, see what happens when you have one really important person. No, I'm teasing, but it is a really big deal, and I'm glad that we did this in his honor.
I don't know how many folks know, because I didn't know this until several years ago, that song, and Stevie Wonder in particular, is largely responsible for why we have Martin Luther King Day in America. He campaigned, he used his pulpit with a very specific mission during the Reagan years. And I think that was probably when it had to happen. I don't think a Democrat would have had the juice to do it. It had to be a Republican. And he convinced Reagan. And it was a big deal because there's only been days off for presidents. So this was a day off. So I want to just pivot a little bit. We forget, it's so easy, right? We put Dr. King on this pedestal. We take him out of time and out of humanity. When he died, he was the least popular person in America. He was the most hated person in America. He had reached popularity, but when he started to come out against Vietnam, when he started to oppose the Johnson administration, he became deeply despised in America, and that was him sticking. So it was a huge transition, and when we think about how now, the way he's just, all the edges have been rubbed off the man, and his words get used in car commercials. Every year we hear Republican politicians who spend their life's work working against the dreams of Dr. King will use his words. It's become ephemeral, and it takes a real act of intentionality to dig into Dr. King's legacy and figure out what a radical the guy was. So this is my question for you all. So I was looking up, I went to the King Center website and was looking up beloved community and what that really means, because we kind of throw it around, and I didn't really know. So my understanding of beloved community is that it was a philosophy that King had that was steeped in the idea of nonviolence, but nonviolence as the solution to a global problem. It was, he saw violence as segregation, but he also saw violence as hunger and poverty. He made no distinction between local conflicts and global conflicts, and he believed it wasn't idealism. He believed in his heart, in reality, that conflict resolution, that people working together could solve the world's problems through conversation. So we were all born on this stage, I think, after Dr. King died. Yeah, a long time after, yeah. I'm trying to remember how old I am. Thank you. So I want to ask you all, this next generation and the one after that, how does it still speak to you? Do you still hear Dr. King's words in your life? Are there other people who've kind of supplanted him in your life? I want to start with you. Who comes to your mind when you're looking for answers? Where's Dr. King in your answers?
I think I'm still hearing it in music right now. I think that there's a lot of musicians like Kendrick Lamar, like J. Cole, who are still preaching a lot of what Dr. King had to say. And not only what Dr. King had to say, but all of his contemporaries as well, from Malcolm to anyone you could think of. And also in the writing as well, in Bell Hooks, and Nina Simone, and a lot of the artwork from the people that were inspired, or not even if they were fully directly inspired by Martin. just being able to have a new outlook and chance at life because of the work that he did and allowing for those people to kind of push whatever they wanted to push moving forward. I think that that is where I'm hearing Martin now.
Yeah. Anybody else? What about you all, young people? You've been learning about him since you were little kids, right? In this very like set way. Where does he live in your life now? We give you this.
I think that where I think of Martin Luther King, because listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I agree with every like aspect of his philosophy. I feel that I don't know. There is a tinge of there's a hint of idealism sometimes when I look at like how Dr. King saw the world. But I do see him when I think of radical acts of like divesting. I mean, we're in the day and age that we live in now, we see probably more than King even did in his time, or probably to the same extent, how like those in power can quite literally, if they have enough power, take out large groups of people, you know? And where I see Dr. King is the way that he was for the divestment of like us. And by us, I mean the US. I wasn't not talking about us as human beings, but he was very adamantly against the Vietnam War. He was against the apartheid that was going on in South Africa, and he was a voice that was speaking on how we can use our buying choices in order to band together and stop atrocities that are happening. That's where I see Dr. King. Though I don't know. I also mainly look toward other leaders of the time or who are elders now, such as Angela Davis. Angela Davis is probably one of the people I look to the most when I think of my philosophy and how I believe like the world can be changed. And the both of them, though they did not agree on everything, did believe in the concept of community, and that community is the only way that we can kind of be liberated. And yeah, that's where I'm seeing them.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for us about anything? Okay, where's the wireless mic? All right. Yell it out, Tug.
All the time. I feel like I have an interesting experience because I am Black, but I'm also Haitian and Dominican, which has a whole history of just in between their relationship between each other. But especially when I'm looking at folk music and restudying that now, one of my first inclinations was to think, well, first of all, let me tell the story. Has anyone seen Marvel movies? They're terrible. But there was this one called Shang-Chi, where they delved into like Chinese history and like Chinese folklore. And the whole time I was like, geez, what does that look like in my culture? Why can't I have something like that? Why can't I have flying dragons across the world? Then you start doing some history on Haitians and the Haitian Revolution and everything that kind of suppressed Haiti's history after that point, the Clinton administration. You can go down a whole rabbit hole with that. But I think in knowing that suppression, I feel like there's a complete different kind of oppression that is happening to my culture that it makes me feel even more driven to connect with it and speak through the music in some kind of way. So I think every day I'm thinking about my own heritage and then also how other cultures are kind of expressing themselves and their history through their music as well.
I love Brazilian music and Ethiopian rhythms. I was in an Ethiopian restaurant yesterday, and the TV was on, and the dancing and the culture of those rhythms in their, I know they have several religions in the country, but this particular pop music rhythm, I was really influenced by after I went home, and I was kind of listening to that on repeat. But yes, I think any good musician needs to look to other cultures.
Oh, listen, Puerto Rico and Cuba, okay? Now listen, including, I think that like, as a Puerto Rican, I am always looking to Puerto Rican music, especially as someone, I don't know, being in the folk collective. Before being in the folk collective, I did not see the music that I made or the music that like I listened to as folk. But you have artists in Puerto Rico who are literally talking about what is going on there, in addition to like just what one may face in society as like a queer person in PR or a black person in PR. In Cuba, there's literally Celia Cruz who when in exile, she brought the music of her culture to the States and spoke out against the racism, spoke out against racism in general, but like wrote about experiences of racism and colorism and things like that in her music.
There's so much to discover in this country too. Max and Kim, I was going to ask you too. You've kind of dug in later in your career deeply into your own native heritage, and some of the music from that heritage has come out through some of your newest album and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about those discoveries for you?
Sure. I grew up, I'm Native American of the Tlingit tribe. I'm born in southeastern Alaska. And I grew up knowing pretty much nothing about my cultural heritage. And it wasn't until I was older that I realized that that was by design. So I dug in and started to learn as much as I could, not only about my cultural heritage, but that of other indigenous people in the area where I live. I live on Cape Cod. And I came across an Anishinaabe legend called the Seven Fires Prophecy. And I was so enamored by the prophecy that I decided to write a song about it so I could share it with my audiences. And I performed it at an In the Round show one night with Susan Catania and I can't remember who else, it was Rob Abernethy. And after the show, Susan heard my story and she said, you know, Kim, you should think about like writing a song for each of those fires. And what the story tells us is that long ago the Anishinaabe people were visited by prophets who gave them 7 prophecies, and each prediction covered a specific period in time, and each of those periods of time is called a fire. So that's why it's called the Seven Fires Prophecy. And she said, you should think about writing one for each one. And it took me about a year, but I did it, and I just released it, and I'm spending a lot of my time now going around trying to educate my audiences about, you know, the indigenous community that still is vibrant and still lives here in the United States, and our culture and the different cultures of other tribes. And so when you talk about does music from other countries influence, it does, but so does music from our own culture. One of my favorite new artists is Jeremy Dutcher, who is a Canadian Indigenous artist. And he released 5 years ago an album where he discovered that in the basement of this museum, there existed these wax tapes of his indigenous ancestors singing songs from hundreds of years ago. So he wanted to share those with people, and he couldn't take the tapes out of the museum, so he decided to write songs with those recordings and released it. And it's an absolutely fabulous album, but I'm discovering that there's so much incredible music that was already here, like long before European people came here. So it's incredibly interesting.
So you all have to go home and listen to Kim's record now. It's your homework for the night. Yeah, I think it's important to note too that American music is music of the world. We really can't escape it in America. It's a clash of many different cultures coming together, and our music is no different. I love bluegrass. I love Western swing. Western swing is an amazing example. It's this music that was happening in Texas and Oklahoma in the 40s and 50s. You have, country guitar players. You have Mexican cowboys. You have native songs. You have Hawaiian steel guitar. You have fiddle tunes from Ireland. You have rhythms, the banjo from West Africa. All of these things coming together to create what we call American music. So, even if you say, no, I only listen to music that's, from where I'm from, that's just not true if you're in America because it came from everywhere.
Yeah. I want to put in a plug. So Tug is leading a choir, the MLK choir here tomorrow night. Come out tomorrow night, Monday, singing songs in the African American tradition and South African tradition, where Tug is from, and the Haitian tradition. So come on out tomorrow night. I want to thank Bill back here. He's hiding behind the screen, but he had a big job tonight. Thank you, Bill. Who haven't I thank? Thank you, Mark Arelli, for giving us some of this gear up here. We're lucky to have some good musicians around here in town. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I don't want to hold you any longer, but I guess I want to share tonight, just as I'm thinking about this group and what I've learned from this group over the last year and a half. The lesson for me about what it takes to increase diversity is that it takes relationships. That's the hard piece of it, and it always gets overlooked because people want to go from A to B, but nobody wants to be at B with you if you don't spend time getting to know each other, right? And that's hard. It's hard. It takes real time and effort. I feel so honored to have been asked to be part of this group and to build this community, but I'm even more excited that we are not the end of this, we are the beginning. So we are the first cohort of the Folk Collective at Passim, and next year there will be a new cohort of 12, and the idea is that then we're 24, and then the next year will be 36, and this is how we can move forward. And I think there's a lot to learn from that for our town here in Melrose and everywhere that wants to change the look and face of where they are and what they're doing. Can you take us out with a little happy birthday?
We'll go back to the original key, right? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the next Opening Doors show.